Should be around 7, right?
Yep. Welcome, race fans, to PitStop TV. Trey Shuttlesworth joins me on the mic this evening. Corey Rexford is on social media coverage, and I'm Emerson Arden. And we join you tonight for PitStop TV's live coverage of the BRP iRacing series. As usual, we want to thank you for tuning in across all of our platforms this evening: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter tonight. And we join you from the virtual Knoxville, Iowa, for the penultimate round of the BRP iRacing Series 360 Sprint Car season at the virtual sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. First opening in 1878 for horse racing, it wouldn't be long until we got some automobile action on the half-mile dirt oval. That came to fruition at the turn of the 20th century. Half a century later, 8 degrees of banking, fencing, lights, all of that was added to the facility, and in 1954, we're racing on a weekly basis. Finally, in 1983, the 360 sprint cars would see the track, and their presence would grow from there. 360 Nationals starting in 1991, and the facility upgrading almost every year since would become the dirt racing behemoth we have on our screens now. That being said, Trey, what do you think it means to these drivers to be competing at such a significant and historic track?
First of all, I want to say it's a pleasure to be working with you tonight, Emerson, and I'm glad we get to see probably about 20, maybe a couple cars over 20 cars here at the Knoxville Raceway. I don't think it would be a sprint car series on the iRacing.com service without a, essential visit to the Knoxville Raceway. Within the discipline of sprint car racing, it is probably the place that you want to win at the most. Even if it's most notable for its 410 Sprint Car Nationals, the 360 Nationals, which occur right before the Knoxville Nationals, are also probably the biggest event in 360 Sprint Car racing. And despite the fact that, points payouts here for the series are going to be, the same as every other round, it's still going to be an important race tonight as we head into the finale next week at the Charlotte Dirt Oval.
My mic was muted. Sorry, let's take a look at the point standings anyway. We have Travis Millard and Thomas Richard at the top of the standings. They're separated by 8 points, and both of them 3 wins apiece. Looking like an extremely close battle at the top of the standings as we head into the penultimate round of the season. Everybody else kind of battling for scraps, but I wouldn't say at least the top 4 are not out of it. And anything can happen in racing, so at least the next 2 races could be pivotal should top 2 maybe not have a race go their way.
And with how chaotic these races are, it's only 30 laps, so you kind of have to, as a driver, you have to be incredibly aggressive because your opportunities are going to be limited in order to be able to make overtakes on the racetrack, to make any passing opportunities happen, especially considering that caution laps here do not count as you might conventionally see in a lot of dirt tracks, whether it be real life or on the iRacing.com service. Now that you, as a series, you can dictate whether or not you want caution laps to count. Not a thing here in the BRP iRacing series, but Miller and Richard, it has to start from the beginning. They have to nail a very, top-notch lap in the time trial session. They have 2 laps to go out and do it on what's going to be a tacky Knoxville Raceway. It's going to be interesting to see if guys elect to go, right along the berm on the bottom, or see if they go on a more middle line. But I'm pretty sure the track does get a reset here for qualifying in the series, and then from there, they just have to, if they qualify well, execute in the heat race, and that puts them in the spot to go out there for 30 laps. Oh, I do have to correct myself. I meant to say that caution laps do count here in the series, and I should know that, having manned our social media platforms for the last 6 weeks. I might have been off 1 week, but about 5 or 6 weeks here in the series. Hey, we're down to 2 rounds. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure. And, that's all right. We all make mistakes anyway. 23 cars, as far as I know, 8 cars a heat. So we are just shy of what would be 3 full heats, and then I think it's at least 3 more cars, and we might get some Conti action. So already a lot of racing action. If we can somehow find 3 more drivers in the next, well, just under 9 minutes, we could really be rocking a lot of action here at the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville. As you said about when you were talking about the track, you said something about a berm, and that is the innermost portion of the track here at Knoxville. You can see it kind of on the shot. If you look towards the bottom of 3, which is right there on your screen, you can see there's a little bit of inverse banking, if you will, and I know that can catch a lot of drivers off if you're really trying to hook that bottom, and or maybe just trying to straight line the exits after diamonding the corner. How much of an effect does the berm have to these 360s?
Just based off of my own personal experience driving these cars on the surface here at the Knoxville Raceway, on the bottom you almost get what's similar to like a cushion, you know, where you get a very small little lane of additional traction on the inside right alongside the berm. However, if you do catch the inside of that berm, you can lose a lot of momentum. But if you can find that sweet spot right between the berm and where the slick part of the racetrack begins, there can be a lot of grip there, and it can make the inside line very effective here in the Knoxville Raceway once the track starts to get really worn out, which, you know, if we have a lot of green flags running tonight, I think it's definitely possible that we see guys running up top on the cushion like you're seeing. Maybe not quite against the wall tonight, just because we don't have as much time to get the track worn in, but I think we're going to see guys battling. Oh, well, there you see it in turn 1, actually, right up against the wall the cushion is, but not quite as much in 3 and 4. But yeah, we're probably going to see battles of inside the berm right versus the outside cushion tonight.
Right on. I'm just being told right now that the track will reset in between practice and quali. And, right, so right now we're riding on board with a driver who's highest on the boards that is on track right now. Second place driver, Brett Haas. And he is really ripping that outside lane. And, you know, when you rip that outside, you're carrying the most speed around the track. But is that truly the fastest way around, or is it only the fastest way around at certain, you know, usages of the track? Like when the track is really used, I know you're going to want to be up there. But if there's speed below, is the outside really that beneficial? Or is it just maybe to just get used to the outside for when it does get that used up to the inside?
Very tough question. Very good question, Emerson. It's, well, yes, but actually no is the short way of answering it. Just, you know, again, based off of personal experience, it seems like if you're alone on the racetrack trying to find, you know, the optimum lap time, it seems like the top side seems to be the best way to go. But you can definitely still utilize the bottom to try to make an overtake happen here once it gets really slick and worn out like we're currently seeing. The slick is definitely a no-go in terms of consistently trying to run a racing line, but it can be utilized to try to pull a slide job here. This is an absolutely fun track to watch slide jobs happen when you get to the right track state. Again, it's, you know, we'll have to wait and see how much wear we get into the racetrack over the course of those 2 time trial laps for everyone. Then it's going to be 8 laps of 3 heat races, and then the 30-lap feature. And then, as we already mentioned a little bit, caution laps do count. So it's going to depend on how clean these guys are, you know, in terms of how much track evolution we're going to see tonight.
Right on. And I'm just looking around the second practice group. I don't really see anybody on the track in the second group. All the action really... Oh, we got Patrick Reiser, actually, who's 9th quickest in the second practice group. But the second practice group, very, very quiet in terms of action.
I think it's a bit understandable at this point, just because the amount of wear that we would need to see over the course of the heat races to get to a track this worn is going to be quite, you know, quite an intense amount of racing. I'm not sure if we're going to get as far as we're seeing right now. And honestly, you might get a little bit more experience on a slick racetrack, but is it going to be that valuable tonight to get, you know, that practice time? Maybe not. Because otherwise at this point, I think you want to look at trying to be able to nail that qualifying lap. But quite frankly, the racetrack you're seeing right now is not what these guys are going to see in the qualifying session, where the track is going to be absolutely tacky. You're going to basically be able to put your foot to the floor without issue, probably around the bottom side and maybe in the middle of the racetrack.
How about our points leader, Travis Miller, just taking to the track right now. He's 16th, and I think it's really hard to tell when it comes to practice, because these drivers could easily be setting lap times at different usages of track. And when I mean that, just how used the track is and how much speed is left in the track. And Travis Miller that far down the practice order, I don't think is indicative of what can happen when the track resets for qualifying. Let's see, 3.5 minutes remaining till these drivers take to qualifying, and I like what Travis is doing. He's kind of running more in that I guess you would say black ice, if you will. That really slicks up these cars, and it really makes it hard to control. Maybe it's just more of a fun factor, because it is really something else when you're kind of lost in that black ice. If you're not experienced, you are hanging on for dear life. But you're just looking for some fun. And I think with him being up top of the standings, this could just be for some fun or for some experience to try to get that bottom rolling later on in the event. But he's actually really hooking that bottom now. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think it's important that you see that his car really isn't that unstable, despite the fact that he's running in that really dry, slick, clay at the moment right now. Otherwise, I had another point to add there, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. As you know, why he might be running on the bottom. It's definitely important to be able to understand how throttle modulation works when you have 750 horsepower in such a light vehicle as Travis Miller is driving tonight. And that's something you can definitely do by running in that slick clay at the moment right now. Whereas on the top side, you have to be incredibly brave. It's an entirely different beast when you're on the bottom. It's all about being very patient, getting back onto the throttle, and making sure you're not overstepping the throttle.
For sure. With about 2 minutes remaining, taking a look at the weather, the current air temperature around the track just under 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 77.7. Fuel 777s if you're feeling lucky. Clear skies, track temp a little bit cooler, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And wind, not too much of a factor. It's coming at 2 miles per hour from the north. I guess weather not really going to be affecting the action tonight. Maybe, I guess that track temp makes it a little bit harder for the track to, I guess, stay or I guess the track to dry off, if you will.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I mean, you can't, you hit the nail on the head, basically, just because that sun's not out right now tonight. The track evolution isn't going to be as quick or as extreme tonight. So, I think this would have been a good track to see, a very quick daytime slicking off at, just because I think this track is absolutely brilliant in terms of passing opportunity once you get it really slick. But, yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see how quickly it wears here tonight in these nighttime conditions.
For sure. Jumping back to the other practice group for the final minute of practice, and we're looking right now at Randy Giroux there on that outside. Almost caught the wall, or if he did, it was oh so slight with that right rear tire, and you're gonna really see them get that right rear digging right up against that it's almost a non-existent cushion up there at some points. You'll really see it there on the entry of 3. That cushion, I mean, it's there, but it's not there at the center of the corners. Is that helpful when you kind of have the whole track to use, or does it hurt because maybe you might push it a little too hard and get that outside wall, as he's been flirting with? I see Randy has.
Very simply, it depends on how well you can maintain that line. So it's basically going to be down to driver ability and driver comfort, because there is absolutely a lot of risk in slamming that right rear into the outside wall. It can definitely mess up the suspension, and that could very well signal the end of your night at a track where it's so important that you maintain your equipment, as opposed to some of the bull rings that you might visit on the iRacing.com service, such as Kokomo Speedway, Lima Land. Cedar Lake Speedway is a track that I believe is getting introduced with the next build, for example. That's another small track, as opposed here to the Knoxville Raceway. I do believe we do have cars coming onto the racetrack for their 2 time trial laps, though, Emerson.
Yeah, for sure. Single car qualifying. It's going to be a quick session, I see. 2 minutes, 40 seconds for these drivers to get out there and set the fastest times they can. And, of course, you don't need that much time. It is a pretty quick track. You can run a whole qualifying run and give or take 45 seconds. Brett Haas, we're watching right now, work his way all the way down that bottom. And when the track is is not used up at all, as you can see right here. That inside line is gonna be the fastest way around, just because it is the shortest way around, and the track is clear. So you see, actually, it's gonna be Ryan Sissis going top of the chart. Nope, now Brett Haas goes top of the chart, and that's gonna change a lot. I really, it's really gonna be something we keep our eyes on later in the session, but yeah, the times are coming in slowly and surely. We have now top of the charts. Back is Ryan Sissis, and he'll top Brett Haas by about 2/100ths of a second. More times coming in. We're up to 17 times with 100 seconds remaining. And at 38, he's still lapping here, and at this point, he's just kind of getting that practice in.
Hey, there's no penalty if you get some incident points, you know, for getting into the wall here in an unofficial league racing session here in the iRacing.com service. So the more practice laps, the better, I think, because this is basically going to be the track state that these guys have for their heat races, especially if they're in the first heat race or two. The other thing that's really interesting to see here in qualifying is that on lap 1, guys are really sacrificing their lap and running the outside line for some of these drivers in order to get as much momentum as possible for lap 2. It just goes to show that these cars are basically flat out, and showing that momentum can be incredibly important on a very green racetrack like this.
Yeah, for sure. And this qualifying, this isn't truly representative of where these cars are going to grid up. Of course, this lone qualifying is what's going to set the orders for these heats, and they'll number it off where the first 3 cars will be the respective poles in each heat, and then you'll have 4th, 5th, and 6th. They'll be starting second in heats 1, 2, and 3, and so on and so forth. And so right now you could theoretically see you have our pole setters. Right, we have actually all 23 drivers setting times. So looks like the heats are pretty much set. Travis Miller goes 12 quickest. Doing quick math here, he'll be in heat 3, and Thomas Richard is also going to be Thomas Richard will be in heat 2. So it's going to be interesting. The battle doesn't start immediately in the heats, or does it? Because of course you're going to want to start as high as you can to try to outdo one another.
Incredibly concerning for Travis Miller, who's trying to pick up his 2nd championship here on PitStop TV. If he could do it in the final 2 rounds here, the BRP iRacing series, of course, he was our champion in the Bluegrass iRacing series, which is a series which utilizes the NASCAR Cup Series stock cars. It looks like we're getting ready to grid up here for our first of 3 heat races tonight. It's going to be 8 cars per session, except for the 3rd one, where we should see 23 cars enter tonight. Everyone's going to make the show.
For sure. And we'll take a look at our starting lineup. We'll have Ryan Susi and Corby Daniels making up row number 1 of heat number 1, as the pace truck's already rolling off. We'll back to row number 2. We'll have Jean-Francois LeBlanc and Dan Sider making up row 2. Row number 3, we'll have Randy Giroux and Joe Matthews. Row number 4, it'll be Derek Wutzke and Dean Meitzler.
So 8 cars here. It's going to be a total of 4 miles here around the Knoxville Raceway. Maybe a little less, since we'll see these guys probably utilizing the lower lines here at the racetrack. You can see that while there isn't really much of a cushion, it's still a lot of the groove isn't really worn in up in the higher lines of the racetrack here. So it's probably going to be a 1-lane race for the most part. Have a lot of really competitive cars out here tonight, and it's going to be a fun 8-lap heat race to start the night.
8 laps, 8 cars, 2nd of 2 pace laps underway as we get ready to get to action here at the sprint car capital of the world. iRacing.com pace truck leads the first group of 8 for heat number 1 down the back straightaway. One final time before we let loose for the first racing action of the evening. Heat number 1 to set via each respective 3rd spot in the running order, if that makes sense. The iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado pace truck is off into the safety of pit lane, and it'll be Ryan Susi leading us to the green.
Looks like he has trouble getting on the throttle. He wheel hops it a little bit, gets a little bit of a wheelie going on the front straightaway, but he's going to be in command, in control down the back straightaway. Corby Daniels, the beef, he's in 2nd place. Still challenging on the outside line, but I think he's going to have to compromise as we come to the completion of lap 1 at Knoxville.
Further back, we'll have a couple double wide action. Randy Giroux actually clears Joe Matthews and Derek Wutzke. Wutzke's actually Actually, back here in eighth. Not, my bad. The scoring hasn't led. That was Dean Meitzler that was moving forward, and he's looking to try to find a way around Dan Sider. Fastest lap goes to Ryan Susi here on lap number, as we complete lap number 2 of 8 here in heat number 1. Back up front, singled it out, and everybody's really hooking that bottom. That's really gonna use up that bottom, don't you think? And it's gonna make it harder on these guys for the race. What if you're starting to spread it out this much, maybe do you want to not use up that preferred line and kind of save it for the race, or does it also reset in between heats and race?
I believe the track that these guys get following the heat races is the track they start on for the feature race. So it could be in your best interest to not want to, you know, completely wither away the inside line. If
oh, Matthews in the wall.
Ooh.
We'll hold on to it, but Sider gets to the inside. That was a great save. Randy Giroux actually moved up to the 4th position and is trying to chase down LeBlanc for 3rd. 2 laps to go now in heat number 1, and it's getting really tight for 4th. I'm sorry, for 5th. Sider trying to get to the inside of Matthews, but Matthews holds station in that middle lane.
Doing an excellent job of keeping his composure, and be sure to remember that if you're able to claim another spot here in the heat race, that's going to move you up a total of 3 spots on the starting grid for the feature race tonight. So it's very important that Dan Sider try to get the job done. We'll go back up front and watch Ryan Susi's claim the checker flag. It looks like he will, in fact, claim the Heat 1 race victory here at the Knoxville Raceway.
So Ryan Susi on the pole for tonight's 30-lap feature event, and getting ready for heat number 2 to get underway. We'll have Ludovic Bisson starting on the pole. Trey, you want to take us down the rest of the grid?
I'd be happy to. So yeah, it will be Ludovic Bisson leading the field to the green, and he will be accompanied by Kevin Stevens on the outside of the front row. We go back to the 3rd position. It's going to be Thomas Richard, who's been having an incredible season so far. 3 wins on the season already. He'll be joined by Michael Wenner outside of row 2 in the 4th position. Behind them, it's going to be Connor Ross and Patrick Reiser making up the 3rd row tonight. And then rounding out your heat to field tonight, it will be Brian Berger. He will be joined by Scott Broderick. And that will be your 8-car grid here. We'll have, yet again, 4 quick, rapid miles here around the Knoxville Raceway. It'll be time to reset it and go for 7 cars in our 3rd heat race.
For sure. So that first heat race, pretty clean for the most part, but we did see the intense battle that was for 5th, and that's really for a lot of the scraps in the midfield. As you said, every spot you gain is 3 spots in your starting position, and so I'm sure Sider really wanted that 5th position, because that would have helped out huge in the terms of the start. And I've known in my time at Knoxville, I've known this track to be pretty chaotic, so you're not going to want to be in the eye of the storm when we drop the green flag after the 3rd heat. But 8 cars getting ready to go. Double wide, you kind of see Berger and Breverick kind of tailing the field a little bit with the distance, and maybe they're just trying to wait to get queued up, maybe try to jump the gun a little bit from behind. Who's that Breverick hanging out at the back? But anyway, it'll be Bisson and Stevens doubled up very tightly as we come to the green flag once again for heat number 2 at Knoxville.
Barney passionately waves the green flag, and it's going to be yet again the pole sitter, this time Ludovic Bisson. He's going to command the field as we go into turn 3 for the first time tonight. Still in control is Ludovic Bisson, but look very closely. It's Kevin Stebbins, and he is still challenging for that lead spot.
Michael Wenner around the outside trying to take contact. He's going to almost get the wall, but he'll drop back a couple spots, and Wenner now back to the 5th position, and he might not be done dropping yet. And that was pretty close. That was Thomas Richard he made contact with coming into turn 1 last time around. And it'll be Bisson with the fastest lap at the completion of lap number 2. And the winner now coming back, trying to get around to the outside of Connor Ross for 4th.
So unfortunately there for Wenner, as he goes for that net gain of 1 spot, he's instead going to see a loss of 1 spot. And that was a massive risk, but he did a very miraculous job of saving the car. And fortunately, in the least, at minimum, if he keeps the car clean, he's still going to start in the mid-pack. And I think he has a good shot making the overtake here as we go into the entry at turn 3. Looks to the inside of Ross. Not quite this time, but he still has 4 laps to try to do it here at Knoxville.
All right, now he's being caught by Patrick Reiser. Now Stevens goes faster. Does he have anything for the outside pole? Trying to chase down Busan. Coming around to 3 laps ago. He really drives it on exit off of turn number 4. Trying to get to the outside of the 72. He's going to have the chance to get to the inside here down the back. Really sizing up Busan now. Coming around to 2 laps to go at Knoxville in heat number 2.
Down to 1 mile here at Knoxville Raceway, and he's definitely putting the pressure on, and all it takes is 1 mistake. Might not even be a mistake. It just might be a pure execution of 4 quarters at Knoxville Raceway for Kevin Stevens to be able to go out there and claim the Heat 2 race victory, and that would put him 2nd place on the starting grid here tonight. He's almost there.
The Sen with 1 lap to go. That might be it. Does he have anything else? He'll try it once more, but Busan goes fastest there on lap number 7. That might be all she wrote for Stevens, and it looks like it'll be Ludwig Busan coming off of turn number 4 to win Heat 2 and be our outside pole sitter. And in that battle for the points lead, Thomas Richard gets to 3rd. That means he will be starting 6th in the main.
Michael Wenner,
no, that's
after
not.
that.
Never mind.
Oh, no, you're good, you're good. And how about Michael Wenner after that save? He's going to hold on to the 5th place after that pretty consistent pressure from behind, so an excellent job there. It could have been a lot worse. He could be, starting the race in, I believe it would be about the 22nd position tonight, so great job of saving that vehicle.
For sure, and I did get that number right. That would be 8th for Thomas Richard, and now the 7-car grid in heat number 3 rolls off the, well, it's a concrete pit lane, actually, but you'll see Brett Haas, anyway, to the inside of Adam Hilton for row number 1. Row number 2, we'll have Matthew Ritter and Travis Miller, our point leader, right now starting 4th in Heat 3. He's got some work to do at the moment, but he can make up a lot of that in this heat. Row number 3, we'll have Tyler Pachalski and Liam Daniels, and back in row number 4, we'll have Sebastian Labonte.
So due to only having 23 cars here to enter tonight, we will only have 7 cars on the grid here, as opposed to the 8 in the other 2 heat races. Everyone makes the show tonight. It's been the case for most of the season, I believe. I don't think we've had to send anyone home tonight, but it's been a very consistent and loyal list of entrants from week to week. We've probably had at maximum 26, 27 entrants, and here we are near the end of the season, still holding pretty strong here with 23 entries, here at the Knoxville Raceway.
The way they've been pacing around, you'd think Hilton is the pole sitter for Heat 3, but Brett Haas now pulls up ahead of that number 3, and the iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado pace truck hits the safety of pit lane once again. It'll be Brett Haas, Adam Hilton, row number 1. We are green for Heat 3 in Knoxville, and the bumps on the start. Here comes Miller trying to get up to 3rd. The slide from Brett Haas, and it's very tight up front as we start.
We head on to the entry to turn 3, nearly 3 wide for the 2nd position, but Miller is going to hang on to the 3rd spot. DeRitter challenging from behind, but he also has a little bit of company. It's going to be Liam Daniels to his outside. Oh, for the lead, contact, and Haas is going to lose it.
Adam Hilton to the 3rd position to start. It's going to be Brett Haas dropping all the way down to 5th position. That's a total of 15 spots he just lost in contact between the Ritter and Pachalski. Now Haas gets to the inside of Pachalski, and now here's Sebastian Labonte sizing him up. Contact, Pachalski hard into the outside wall.
Race control throws the caution flag for that, and now Travis Miller has had a very simply, it's massive shakeup here for the championship picture here as we look ahead to the future tonight, because Thomas Richards is going to be starting, what did you say? I believe it's 8th place tonight, and now we're looking at Miller starting perhaps outside of the top 20 tonight.
Almost getting passed by the pace car there, Brett Haas, and that is well, heat race saving for Brett Haas. So we're going to take a look at what happened, and I should catch a little late there, so we'll get one more, and this is the lap before, and it was Pachalski working on the outside of the 17 of Matthew Ritter. He loses it, he saves it, and then Haas up the inside, it's his right rear clipping the left front. And Pachalski gets the worst of it.
Oh, my apologies there. I confused Pachalski with the 22 of Travis Miller. So the scenario is not as bad for Miller. He still stands 6th place, but he's going to have a couple laps to try to gain a couple of spots there. But yeah, I think that calamity started all the way back when we had that mistake with Brett Haas, and things were just still very chaotic as a result of that.
Miller made contact with Haas.
Could potentially be a little bit of suspension or aero damage there for the 22. But in the least, he won't have to manage it for too long. I think it's only going to be about 2 laps at maximum, as we're coming to take 3 laps to go in the race, and it's the 1 to go back to the green flag.
And for sure, we're getting 1 to go now, and it's going to be Adam Hilton and Liam Daniels, the front row. All of a sudden, Matthew Ritter making the initial contact with Pachalski. He finds himself 3rd. Sebastian Labonte 4th. Travis Miller 5th. Brett Haas 6th. So it's 3 rows double wide down the back straightaway. And for the first time, that's not starting an event tonight. The iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado pace truck will make the left-hand turn and find the safety of pit lane once again. We're going to have, I believe, 4 laps to go into heat, but we're back to racing. Adam Hilton leads us back to the green, and scoring says we'll have 2 laps to go.
More contact behind. De Ritter is the big loser. He falls back to 6th, but it's 2nd place Liam Daniels, who also catches the outside wall. So a lot of calamity here. We're going to come to take the white flag, and the reason we restart with 2 laps to go is because caution laps also count here in the heat races. Excellent job by Hilton of getting away there on the start, though.
Well, Travis Miller all the way back in the 7th position before that caution came out, up to 3rd. So the damage control from Travis Miller, but it's going to be Adam Hilton winning race number 3 and starting in the 3rd position for Vermain. And he goes fastest, and Labonte goes fastest as he'll come home 4th in Heat 3.
Definitely bodes well for him. Gonna have to, utilize that newfound momentum there. But I definitely like the idea of coming away with the fastest lap in the heat race. He'll have a long way to go here. We're already getting ready to grid up. You can see the sparks fly here from the pre-race fireworks show that iRacing has programmed here at the Knoxville Raceway. And it's going to be an excellent backdrop here as these guys go around for their pacing laps here at the Knoxville Raceway.
Right on. Well, I think it's time we get going here, and it's gonna be sure, pole sitter has yet to grid up, but I guess let's go through our starting lineup, and it'll be row number 1. We'll have Ryan Susi and Ludwig Busan making up row number 1. Row number 2, Adam Hilton, Corby Daniels. Row 3, Kevin Stevens and Liam Daniels. Row number 4, we'll find Jean-Francois LeBlanc and Thomas Richard, and row number 5, we'll find Sebastian Labonte and Randy Giroux.
That's your top 10. Let's look beyond that. Connor Ross and Travis Miller, your championship contender, will make up row number 6 here at the Knoxville Raceway. And then behind them, it'll be Joe Matthews and Michael Wenner lining up in 13th and 14th, respectively. Row 8 will be Brett Haas, who's also pretty far up there in the championship battle. I believe he's sitting 4th coming in tonight. He will be in the 15th position. Dan Sider to his outside. 17th position will be Patrick Reiser, joined by Matt DeRitter of Matt DeRitter Designs, of course. It's going to be Dean Meitzler. He will be accompanied by Brian Berger.
We'll find the second to last row. We'll find Tyler Pachalski after suffering the accident in heat number 3. He'll be starting 21st. It'll be Derek Woodsky coming out in 22nd. And rounding out the back, it'll be Scott Breverick. We'll see if we can make up from the 23rd position.
23 cars.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun one.
30 laps on the docket. 23 cars. Nighttime. Fireworks. I think it's time for sparks to fly. The iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado pace truck finds the safety of pit lane. This time, it's for the main event. 30 laps are about to get underway. Ryan Susi leads us to the green.
A lot of patience there from Susi in terms of getting onto the throttle there to lead the field to the green flag. And it's going to be Busan to his outside. I think we're going to see our first lead change. Susi's might not even lead a lap. He looks low. Just won't be able to clear Busan. Very tight for the lead.
Around the outside, it will be Busan to the race lane. We have a caution in the back.
Very quick slowing of pace, but I think we're seeing that multiple lines can be effective here on the restart here at Knoxville Raceway. So I think we're in for a great show tonight.
Trying to see what had happened, and we'll just try to take a look at a replay. Actually, well, We'll go back to the start. We'll look at the back half of the grid and see if we can see anything there, because we kept our eyes pretty much up front. Son gets the fastest lap under caution. Oh, Brett Haas.
We were talking about Haas came into tonight, I believe, 4th in points, so that's going to be a pretty heavy hit. And it looks like the car's fine, but he's going to have a long way to climb up the leaderboard after that incident.
See what happened. He got on the berm, and then he was sliding, trying to correct it, and oh, it wasn't even his fault at all. I think it was the Ritter who came down and kind of started it all. We can get one more shot of it. We'll kind of see it here, and you'll see Haas there. The Ritter around the outside, and Miller's back there, and that's our championship leader in that, or is that? No, that's not. That's Matt. That's Michael Winter, who's actually out of the event now. He's not our championship leader. Travis Miller is there. He's okay. But
still okay, still fighting. He's has a long way to go, but he almost climbed all the way through the field last week, so I think it's still possible for him to gain a lot of spots here tonight.
For sure. We're on lap number 430 here. I thought caution laps didn't count, but it looks like they are counting.
Do count. I think I accidentally said that they didn't.
Okay. Fair enough, but anyway, the pace truck is off. We are back to racing. Busan leads us back to the green.
So this time it'll be Busan controlling the restart from the inside line, and he's going to be pretty much dead and gone. Already our second caution flag here, though.
Oh, man. Calamity in the back, and it's Labane going around. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. And it was way further back here. A little bit of contact with Daniels, and oh, onto the barrier, both of them. Oh, and for good measure gets put back into the barrier.
I definitely feel like that second hit is the one that's going to pretty much corrupt his car there. Probably going to be major suspension damage here very early into the race, but it just goes to show that these restarts are so critically important here because it can be difficult to overtake here at the Knoxville Raceway. That
is Liam Daniels that LeBlanc made contact with, and I'll get we'll get another look at it here. See, this is the speed shot of the restart. We'll see what kind of contact we can see. Oh, coming right at you.
And I'm hearing from race control as a result of that Tyler Pacholski will be getting a penalty for initiating a 3-wide action before crossing the start-finish line here after that incident. So a little bit of a shakeup. He currently sits in 14th position after that. And I wonder if they have the wrong car, or maybe I've misidentified the wrong car there. Oh, it was Liam Daniels who got that EOL penalty.
Well, Liam Daniels looks pretty damaged anyway, so I don't know if that's really going to do too much for him. Looks like we're going to get the one to go here. We'll double up, and it's Busan still up front. Lap number 8 up 30. Oh, it's going to be a single file restart. Is this where the caution happens within the same lap of a restart, we get a single file restart?
I'm not sure of the exact threshold. It might be a little bit larger than that, maybe something like about 5 laps or so. But if you do get, two pretty rapid cautions, right, one after the other, we will go to single file here in the BRP iRacing series.
Right, well, I'm going to like the variety of starts nonetheless. It's going to be Busan hugging the outside wall, of course, because it's legal to pass on the outside on iRacing. We're back to racing once again, and Busan with a huge advantage, heading down to turn number 1. Now Stevens gets to the inside of Hilton. The battle for third rages on. It's going to be Hilton taking back third, and Stevens is actually going to fall back behind Corby Daniels. They continue to duke it out and actually enter Stevens back into the 4th position. They'll continue to duke it out with slide jobs.
We continue to follow this battle here for the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. And it looks like Adam Hilton is, as I say that, the caution flag comes out, but Hilton was starting to challenge Susie for the 2nd position here at Knoxville. Looks like it, unfortunately, is going to be one of those races. 3rd caution of the night here at Knoxville Raceway.
And LeBlanc, again, looks to be the victim. We'll see if we can get a replay. Oh, and Haas went around. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Liam Daniels and LeBlanc from the previous caution in this one.
I wonder if Haas caught the slick or if there was perhaps some earlier contact that was just before we caught the action that might have brought him off pace.
Oh, contact with Who was that?
I'm not sure who that is. I'll have to try to look through the leaderboard and see if we can identify.
That was Dean Meitzler. He made contact with.
Okay. I think you can chalk that one up to a racing incident. It's a little
sure.
tough, definitely tough to judge, you know, your surroundings here in these sprint cars, especially the drivers who are able to do it in real life without any mirrors. And the only thing they can really rely on is sound.
Yeah, there's no ill intent, I don't think, from Meitzler in any way. They were back here in the 19th position. See if we can get a view. This is from LeBlanc, right in front of him. Pass goes round. Wow, what a wild ride.
But he is in the least able to drive weight, but it looks like just looking at his steering, it looks like his suspension might be shot after that very, very big hit.
Yeah, that doesn't look like... Oh my goodness. The airtime, all three of them got some airtime on that. Take a look at what's going on, and
We're getting ready to take the green flag here. It looks like Tucson yet again will be leading the field to the green here.
Yep, for sure. Buisson, Sussy, Hilton, Daniel, Stevens, Richard looking for a points gain today. Ross, Jarrell, Labonte, and Matthews, the top 10. iRacing.com, Chevrolet, Silverado Pace Truck into the safety of pit lane, and another early start from Buisson and contact in the back.
Looks like the green flag is going to stay out after that initial contact, and whoever that was, I'll have to try to identify. Oh, and that's Matt DeRitter is just going to go ahead and retire, it looks like, after that. Probably took a very heavy hit to the outside wall. Buisson continues to lead. He pulls a massive gap over Susi as we come to the completion of lap 14.
Stevens and Daniels are continuing to go at it. This is going to be a fun battle. Now Hilton to the second position over Susi. They continue to duke it out side by side into 3. Hilton with the send. It looks like Susi might be under attack from Stevens, or Stevens still trying to defend against Daniels. That's the beauty of dirt racing. Susi with the send on Hilton. The fastest lap goes to Buisson as all of this mayhem goes on behind him. Susi trying to hold on to third. Stevens with the momentum around the outside. We'll see if he can hang on, and now he hits the berm, I think Susi did, and Stevens is going to be all over to the outside.
Yep, it looks like Knoxville Raceway is absolutely slide job central tonight. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to pull it off once you get away from the restarts here, but I think we saw that Adam Hilton does absolutely have raw pace tonight. He nearly pulled the overtake on, it was Ryan Susi before that caution flag, and now it's Susi who's under pressure as he tries to defend that final podium spot. Kevin Stebbins also has Thomas Richards behind him. Richards, of course, 3 wins in the season, looking to pick up that championship.
And now Stevens with the run to the outside of Susi. Can he get to the third position? He's out there. He's got the line, the momentum. Susi with the defense. Now to the inside goes Stevens. They're going to go side by side down the back. And don't forget about Richard as well.
It's going to be Stevens going to the inside, makes the overtake happen. But now, yet again, coming to the inside, it's going to be Susi as they continue to battle for that third place position. Richards continues to sit and just basically hangs tight as these guys continue to battle it out for the third spot.
And Richard has a beautiful view of this as they continue to slide job one another, Susi and Stevens. Right on board if we can.
Back and forth. Sorry.
Go for it. You're fine.
Okay, so now we're going to go on board with race leader Buisson. But now we go back. I believe this is with Thomas Richards here. He currently sits in 5th place. Get to see how much of a run he gets off exit by not electing to go to the low line. He doesn't quite have the run to make a slide jump happen as both of his competitors go to the bottom. And he's going to continue to hang tight. Maybe he doesn't want to try the bottom yet. Maybe he wants to see if these guys are going to tangle because he does have to think about the points fight.
Yeah, for sure. Richard, if he's thinking big picture, has a good advantage right now over his over the person he's battling for the standings right now, Thomas Miller. But actually Miller making his way up through the running order as we continue to ride on board with Richard back up front. Buisson with a huge advantage, nearing 2 seconds, and at a dirt oval, that is insane.
Especially considering he hasn't even had 10 laps to build that gap so far. We go back to third, and there's the contact, and it's going to be Susi who comes away the victor for the time being, but he's probably going to have to defend very aggressively on the bottom from a slide job now, especially after that contact.
And now it looks like they're working through lap traffic now. Susi's going to have to work his way through the 49 of Meitzler, and a 38 to the inside, and he's going to be compromised. Here comes the 52 of Stevens. Oh, he gets the berm. Up the track goes the 38. Almost hit from the 49.
Near contact as they continue to try to get around Meitzler. And now those guys get by. Yep, that will be the yellow flag here.
Oh!
Is that Meitzler, actually? Not the one on his side. No, that's Thomas Richards, I think, on his side.
Oh, no! Oh. And this is huge for the championship. So we can see what happened. Meitzler up there, makes contact. Oh, he got sandwiched. Oh, man. Oh. Championship implications. Thomas Richard on his side very late in the running in the penultimate round of the season. And that's going to sting. That is going to sting.
So, in total, I think all the cars involved there are who, Dean Meitzler, it's Thomas Richard, of course, and then also Corby Daniels. But I think Travis Miller is going to strike gold on a night where he's struggling to make his way through the leaderboard. He's only sitting in like 11th at the top 10. He's sitting in 10th right now. So definitely a good stroke of luck for Travis Miller as we head to the final round, if he can hang on here on the green-white checker.
And we are going to go to overtime here. Richard, man, just in the middle of a sandwich. We went back pretty far in this replay. Here he goes now to the inside of the 49, and Daniels up the inside. A little late race aggression, if you will, and Richard gets the short end of that stick.
Very simply, that is just the way it goes in dirt track racing. Sometimes you have to give so much, and it's a very difficult discipline to be able to take in, just because these races are so short, especially with sprint cars.
Yeah, for sure. This race has been an absolute breeze in terms of time. We have flown through it, and with now overtime on the docket, it's Busan who's been out front most of the day, but does Hilton have anything for Busan on this restart? The iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado pace trucks in the pit lane, and Busan is gone. Hilton under attack now from Susie, and now Stevens trying to take second. It's all going to go on back here.
So it may be settled for the lead at the time being, but I think the battle for the final podium spots is going to be absolutely fun here over this last half a mile. Hilton nearly grabs the ball, but he's going to stand to a clinical job of running on that outside line. White flag is out.
Susie back to the second position, and Corby Daniels, he continues on even after the contact he had to bring out the last caution. Hilton in third. Looks like he'll hang on to third for the time being. He sends it. Can he get second? Keeping everything he's got on the outside, but it's going to be Ludwig Busan winning the penultimate round at Nashville.
Also saw a couple cars go around there at the end, but that was an absolutely fun race tonight. Took a little bit to get going there after, I believe, 3 yellows early on, but we got a pretty solid green flag run in the end. Saw absolutely great racing action and great track evolution tonight, too. Definitely helped. They all contributed to a fun race tonight.
For sure, and let's see here on the last lap what went on back here. Labani was one of the drivers who went around, and contact with, I think that was Joe Matthews, and oh my goodness. Oh, and hit again. Wow, what a ride for Sebastian Labani.
He does cross the line, however.
Yeah.
In the lead, you have to give credit there, and he might have been able to save a spot or two by being able to cross that line.
He did get 17th after all set was done, and Ludwig Busan takes the top spot at Knoxville. Ryan Susie, Adam Hilton, the top 3. Don't go away. We'll be right back as we prepare for our post-race coverage here from the BRP iRacing Series 360 Sprint Car Season. Round number 7 of 8 at Knoxville.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Welcome back, race fans, to the sprint car racing capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. Now into the post-race coverage of the BRP iRacing Series round number 7 from Knoxville, and it was a fun night. And of course, to cap off the fun night, we have driver interviews. We're gonna have to get a word in with our race winner, driver of the number 72, oh wow, I have been struggling with the name all night. I am so sorry. Ludwig. That was the race. It was an absolute clinic from your standpoint. So you started in the second position and you got to the lead very quickly. You led all 31 laps. Does that mean anything else to you? Just being able to dominate the race you did? Not only just get the win, but to dominate it?
Which line it was more fast. I knew when it's slick, slider line is the better action to do. And I see like Susie and Elton doesn't do that at the start, and I take the advantage to do that, and I get my domination with that. I think it's just a line. I don't think it's a talent I got, but it's just my line. I got a better line of anyone, and I'm really happy to get the win.
For sure, it was an absolute fun race. I'm sure from the front. I know the cautions didn't really help things out, but you were phenomenal at the restarts as well. That being said, what can we expect out of you next week at Charlotte?
A win. I want to win. I knew Thomas Fischer and Travis Miller don't get the greatest race tonight, and I just want to get the win next week. I don't know what's gonna be happen, but who knows? I can finish one, second or third, but that's a good battle for the championship, and I really want the championship. But you know, Thomas and Travis are good driver, and I think the two guys was not their track, and I think at Charlotte they're gonna be better, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen, and hope to get the win.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, congratulations on the win. Who do you have to thank for your win tonight at Knoxville?
Just my team, TSL Speedway, and Kevin, who does my pants and my light medal. So just about him, and thanks you, man, for the race and the podcast, and thank you, man.
Thank you for your time. It was a phenomenal race for you. Stoked for you. Congratulations on the win, and yeah, best of luck to you next week at Charlotte.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And that was race winner, driver of the number 72. And now we're going to have Trey Shuttlesworth standing by with our second place finisher, Ryan Susie. Trey?
Thank you, Emerson. So, Ryan, very simply, you were all over the top of the leaderboard, the top 5 for most of the night. How does it feel to come out of there with a second place set for your hard-earned efforts tonight?
It was just good to put one full night in with no major issues. We've had some struggles here in this series, and pretty much all in all my iRacing stuff. I don't really do it a lot, just kind of, 1 or 2 nights a week I'll kind of mess around. So nice to. Last night I actually did a practice race with these guys and ran pretty good, so kind of knew what to expect, what the track was going to do, and just qualifying's everything. So we were able to get a good lap in time trials and keep it towards the front. Wish we would have had a couple more laps at the end. A green flag. I've kind of found something near the end, but just happy. Congrats to Ludovic and Adam and all the guys. And, it was a good deal. Hopefully, get some momentum going and have this thing figured out when the modifieds come around.
Yeah, that's a good point. Only 1 week left here in the 360s. It's going to be a fun one, but I can't wait to see the 358. Jeez, I can't talk tonight. 358 modifieds out there as well. So you were talking a little bit about your practice regimen. What did that look like outside of your practice race tonight? Were you focusing on single car runs for qualifying mostly, or also just a mix of like racing and qualifying?
Well, last night we did a practice, basically, set the server just like we would, on a normal league night, and it's open to anybody who wants to run it. And I haven't been running those in the past just because, you get busy or watching the Bills play or whatnot, and instead I had a little free time last night. I figured it'd be good to practice and get a good practice run in, and just really helped out, kind of how the track's going to slow down and kind of figure out some lines going into tonight. So that was definitely a big thing. And I did miss the Bills game last night. I'm actually getting to watch it tonight, so it works out.
Hey, I'd say that definitely works out well. So otherwise, what did you have to do to adjust to the track evolution during the feature race tonight?
I kind of had to play with the wing a little bit. Car was a little free with the heavy fuel load early, and I pulled it back a little, and it actually kind of hurt me. I was a little slower straightaway speed, I think, there, and that's why Adam was able to get by me for second for a while, and then the 52 was pressuring me quite a bit. We threw some sliders at each other, and then as it started to slick off and the fuel load started to burn, I actually went back forward with the wing, trying to get some speed back up and just keep the car real straight, and it kind of got me a little better. And then on that last run, I just kind of parked it in the trunk and hoped for the best. And it got me planted on the bottom, so it was good. It's always good, like I said, when you can qualify good and you can kind of not make any mistakes and get yourself wrecked or put in the wall, because that's generally what I seem to do. So it's a good night, had fun. So thanks to all the guys at the BRP iRacing Series, Rival Powder Coating, MDR Designs, Not Another Racing Podcast. Just everybody that puts this deal together, Beef and all the guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yep, awesome job tonight, Ryan. Glad to hear you thank all of your partners out there tonight. Otherwise, what are your thoughts going into Charlotte? What are your goals in the season finale?
I've had some decent runs there with the late models. Last season, we actually were able to win my only late model race. So hopefully, what we learned last year and a little bit of practice, hopefully we can get up front and run with Thomas and Travis and all these guys. And maybe our points isn't going to really matter because I had a couple bad nights, but it'd be nice to cap the season off with a win. That's for sure.
All right, Ryan. You already thanks most of your partners, but is there anyone else you want to thank out there for your efforts tonight?
Oh, I appreciate you guys at PitStop TV for putting this deal on, and like I said, all the guys at the BRP iRacing Series for hooking us up with something to do on a weekend or a weekday night. So,
all right, Ryan. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and a good job out there with your second place finish.
Yep, thank you.
That was Ryan Stussy. He will finish second here at the Knoxville Raceway.
All right, and we are joined with third place finisher, driver of the number 3, Mr. Adam Hilton. And Adam, it looked like Ludwig was in his own zip code today. Did you have anything for him?
Later on in the race, I don't think so. If I got into second before that, one of the first cautions there, I think I would have had some. The top was pretty good early on, but on that last restart there, he crossed over in the slick, and I just spun my tires, so I didn't have a chance at the end there for that last caution run.
All right, how was it up there in the intense battle that was for second between you and Sussy and Stevens and Daniels and more? It was absolutely insane throughout the entire mid part of the race. What could you see from your point of view, and what was kind of going through your mind and all of that?
So I was just waiting for the slider line to come in. It looked like it was there at the end. I saw Ludwig try it. I ran it a few times and it looked like it held off Susie there for a while. But that, like I said, that last restart really set me back. But through the middle part, we were decent on the top. Once that top getting in went away, the slider line came back a lot better. So I unfortunately didn't make the move at the end there. Ryan did.
Right on. And then I don't know. Looks like Ludwig got his restart jumps, if you will. What was I guess the key factor to you maybe not being able to go with him? I guess other than not being second, but when you were second, he still just got such a big jump. Why do you think that was? He just had control and you were waiting on him, or did you miss something, or what kind of went on from your point of view on the restarts?
So it's all about anticipating the start, and you got to have your foot ready to go. The last one, he took off pretty early, and I just wasn't ready for it. So that was all on me and my reaction time to seeing him move. Early on, though, I think it was just, on these big tracks, it's a momentum track. So you just got to put your foot to the floor and get your momentum up. And once you lose your momentum, you're kind of done for. So the starts are imperative here at Knoxville.
Fair enough. Well, you ended up finishing where you ended up starting, but yeah, what can we expect out of you at Charlotte?
We'll see. Charlotte's one of my weaker tracks, I have to say, but it's good to finish on the podium tonight. That's for certain. Want to thank sponsors, Roar Logistics, MVP Network Consulting. It's good to put it up on the podium finally this year. We got a win last year, so hopefully next week we can shake off the rust and pick up a win.
Fair enough. I know you just listed one sponsor or a couple, but do you have anyone else to thank for your third place run today?
Thanks, Ryan Susie, for not dooring me at the end.
Hey, fair enough. Congratulations on your third place finish. Best of luck to you next week at the season finale.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate all you do.
Right on. And that was our third place finisher, Mr. Adam Hilton. And Trey, what a race that was. I mean, as far as their racing goes, I'm thoroughly entertained. I was a little worried coming into today because I haven't really had that experience of calling dirt races, and I think just the action that was tonight really helped out with that, because always had something to talk about.
It didn't matter whether it was the drivers or just the track changing throughout the night. There was a lot of drama in terms of the championship picture. There was very simply, like you said, a lot to talk about tonight, and it wouldn't be a sprint car tour on iRacing without visiting Knoxville Raceway when you have it available to you, and I'm glad the BRP iRacing Series elected to come here. And then we'll head to the track where the World of Outlaws, conventionally closes out their season, the dirt track at Charlotte, and it'll be a very fitting end to the season before we get into the 358 Modifieds next season in the 2021 season.
Fair enough. And before we go tonight, we got to obviously wrap up the race and look at where everybody placed. And, of course, it was Ludwig Busson with the dominating performance, leading 31 laps. And that margin does not do him justice. He was phenomenal tonight. Ryan Susie comes home second over Adam Hilton. Kevin Stevens, man, he had some heart tonight. Corby Daniels finishes fifth. Travis Miller with a good points haul over his competitor. Joe Matthews, Connor Ross, Tyler Pachalski, after the calamity that was the third heat, he was able to get out of top 10, and Randy Giroux finishes 10th.
So then we look beyond the top 10, and your first car finishing outside of the top 10 will be the 16 machine of Derek Wutzke. He will finish 4.5 seconds down on race leader Ludwig Busson tonight. Dan Sider, he will finish in the 12th position, followed by Jean-Francois LeBlanc. 14th position will go to Scott Bretherick, followed by Brett Haas, who was in the championship points hunt tonight, but that's going to be a heavy hit, finishing 15th tonight. Followed by him, it's going to be Liam Daniels, 16th position, and Sebastian Labonte in the 17th position. Brian Berger will round out your lead lap cars. He finishes 18th position tonight. Next, it's Dean Meitzler. He'll finish 1 lap down in the 19th position. And rounding out your top 20, it's Patrick Reiser, 2 laps down.
Final 3 cars, we got to shout out Thomas Richard, and man, what a devastating blow to the championship. It's not over, but man, that's unlikely from the amount of points he lost today. Plus, he came in at a deficit today. We'll see what happens next week at Charlotte, but it's not looking good for Thomas. Michael Wenner comes from 22nd, and Matthew Ritter 23rd to wrap up the results. And we have some sponsors to take care of, and of course, we got to shout out the BRP sponsors. Of course, you have Bicknell Racing Products, Rival Powder Coating, Matt DeRitter Designs, and Jam Performance. So thank you, all of those sponsors, for supporting the BRP iRacing series and making things go round more than just the virtual race cars on your screen. And of course, we have some of the PitStop TV sponsors to take care of, and those including Sound Art of Tucson. Your picture, your music. You provide the image that you want, and they will custom create a beautiful framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. And with Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info, and make sure you use discount code PitStopTV at checkout for a 10% discount off of your orders from Sound Art of Tucson. Make sure you check out Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine at permanentmakeupinmaine.com. You can call or text them at 207-358-8683, or you can look them up on Facebook at Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, where you can enter one of their monthly giveaways. And if you enter today, who knows? You might just win. And of course, Whiplash Media is PitStop TV's new parent organization, which specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and more. Whiplash Media is working on its presence in real racing, offering services such as photography, social media management, which, by the way, we had Corey Rexford on tonight, and he was the man. He came in at last second because, well, Trey Shuttlesworth was supposed to be on social media tonight, and he got the late call to join me on mic tonight. And all that being said, what an amazing crew we got here at PitStop TV. The versatility we have, and the be ready for anything mentality, because Corey and Trey, they jumped to the occasion. Trey was always going to be here, but Corey jumped to the occasion and was ready to work tonight. And just want to give a huge shout out to Trey for jumping on mic when he probably wasn't even in the mindset to be on mic 5 minutes before we went on the air. And Corey for not even having the track before starting tonight's broadcast. So just a huge thank you for them for stepping up and making this thing just go around, to say it again. But that being said, that's going to conclude tonight's coverage of the BRP iRacing series. And we at PitStop TV thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. And we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Be sure to tune in Wednesday evening as the Bluegrass iRacing series has some short track racing action waiting for us at the Paperclip, also known as Martinsville Speedway. And of course, join us next Monday night at our usual time. We're going to have the BRP iRacing series season finale for the 360 sprint car season at the dirt track at Charlotte, and you're not gonna want to miss it. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PitStopTV, on Twitter by following at PitStopTV_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/c/PitStopTV1. And for all at PitStop TV, Trey Shuttlesworth with me on mic, Corey Rexford on social media, I'm Emerson Arden. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay warm. We'll see you next time.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.